Hello and welcome back to another episode of Thoringer's channel. Today I want to show you the Reliant Kore. The Reliant Kore was not too long ago as a concept sale. That was a ship that was almost ready for hangar, and now it is ready for hangar. So when it came out, it was available for $50. And when you were smart enough, you got free CCUs from the Avenger Titan to the Reliant Kore, and that's exactly what I did. So I had a Titan LTI package and I CCU'd it to the Reliant Kore. So when we look at it, what does it have? It has a special mount here. That's a Reliant Utility mount. That means you cannot really change anything to it. Cannot put anything else on it. It's not a size 3 mount where you could put, let's say, a repeater or anything on there. It has a size 1 cooler here, then a power plant size 1. It has a turret size 1 that you can actually change, so I have some size 1 Bulldog repeaters here, so I put those on there because I like them better. And I can do that same thing here on this side. Put a Bulldog repeater on there. And there you got it. Have some extra guns. Then another power plant and another cooler and another size 3 special mount. So, how do you get in? This is here the backside, that's where you can get in. And in here we have cargo space on both sides and a walkway in the middle, so that it has a little bit more space than the Avenger Titan, but it has no bed, no sleeping possibility. That means you cannot save and quit in this one. It simply does not save because you need a bed for it. Okay, then we have a pilot seat here. You can actually sit in it. I'll get it to work. Okay. I probably have to respawn it to make that work. Okay, let's try that again. Yep, there we go. Sometimes you just cannot sit in vehicles if they were already spawned. So, this view gets even better. Just imagine you look at 90-degree angle twist. Because these seats do twist, you will sit above the co-pilot, and all your little knickknacks here, the monitors and so on, they come down from the top. They are all mounted to the seat. What I mean with mounted to the seat and why is that important? It's pretty much very similar to the Constellation, the center chair, the pilot's chair, except it's not top mounted, it's back mounted, and this one will rotate 90 degrees together with that middle section and the engines, and then the wings, they will actually flip up and down 90 degrees. So if you will, that middle section will be 90 degrees turned, and you will sit next to each other or on top of each other. That's two configurations that you can both use, and this one will go up and down. So several configurations that you can fly in, basically. And that's pretty much the whole thing from the outside. And let me explain the rest on how I got that and how I got the rebates for free on the homepage when I come back in a second. Look on the homepage. The Reliant Kore mini hauler is hangar ready right now. So that's the one we just looked at. It has 30 cargo units as capacity. It's a max crew of 2, and power plant size 2. All the rest pretty much standard, nothing special. Max shield size is important, let's look at that, 3. And then it does have some propulsion stuff, and then it has one S3 tractor beam that's on one of the nacelles at the top or on the bottom, and then it has the 2 fixed mounts. Laser cannons, these are built, these are the ones that I switched out for the repeaters, and then it has apparently one S1, 2 times task force, 1 pylon, whatever that is. I will have to find out once it is actually flight ready. And additional power plant type and so on is not here on the page yet. So this is the base version, and that is now valued at $65. It came with, when they introduced the Reliant, it came with some variants they already sold as concept sale as well. And one is the news van. So this is basically with cameras and all kinds of knickknacks. What that will do is, like for YouTubers and so on, supposedly you can fly around in certain areas and can probably record from a different angle, something like that. Not quite sure yet, and I don't know if that concept is all the way through yet, and if they can do it, how they want to do it, etc. So then we have the Reliant Zen. So what's the Mako was the news van. The Zen is basically using a lot of sensory equipment, etc. And you see that the pylons, the unmanned turret pylons, what they call it, they are different. Now, how I can imagine that would happen on the Reliant Mako, it has also that seat in the back to the right, and I will look at the concept art in a little bit. And it might be that when you are on that seat, that you can zoom into the monitor and get a different camera angle, because the game has a hard time with the Crytek engine that it cannot, or the Cry engine, it cannot really have a frame in frame that well. So if you have a different render frame showing that in a frame, it doesn't do that very well. It would have to pre-render that and then play it as a clip, and that is very hardware demanding. So question is if that's possible or not. Not sure. We will see. Maybe it is like they do it with the Super Hornet. The Super Hornet has that turret, and when you sit in the second seat, you have a different camera angle. You basically see it from that turret. I'm pretty sure that's how they will implement it. So the researcher variant gets some sensory equipment. Now remember, this thing does not have a bed, so if you want to go deep space exploring, the Reliant Zen is probably not your first choice. So then comes the interesting part. The Reliant Tana, the skirmisher. So the skirmisher has also less cargo space. Makes sense because one side will have a seat again and some extra equipment or gun rack. I will have to look in that in a minute, if I can actually figure that out. But what it does have, and that's why I mentioned that earlier, looking at shield size, it has a size 4 shield instead of a size 3 shield. It does have the same power plant size, but has what they call a Xi'an High Yield Plant 2. So it is advertised up here as having some extra oomph to it. So looking at the turrets, it does have 2 M4A laser cannons instead of a no unmanned turret there. See, yes. and it doesn't have the pylon for it. And then it does have more, seems to have more fixed mounts, but this is kind of, take it with a grain of salt. Sometimes these are not very accurate because I can't see how the standard version has only 2 lasers, and then the news van has 4, or the researcher has 4 as well. It would be kind of odd. Why would they have more guns? You know, a news van doesn't really need that. So a shield generator has, of course, the stronger one, and the power plant as well. So much about the on-paper skills. Then let's look a little bit into the art itself. So this is the skirmisher variant. The skirmisher variant has obviously bigger guns here on the end that seem to be maybe size 2, I'm not sure. Might be size 3. Probably size 2. And then the size 1s here on the side that you can exchange. That's where on my normal variant, on the Holo variant, I put the repeaters, the size 1 repeaters. So then it seems to have another gun here, and this seems to be guns too. So we will see how that all plays out. And you see here the different configurations that you can have that on top of each other here. And as far as I understand, you can also fly it side by side, like in a plane-like configuration. So let's go back to that. Here's how it looks inside. So that's my question. If you have a seat here, right, and you have 2 in the front, why does it say it's for 2 crewmen? It should be saying for 3 crewmen because you have that seat here too. And here you see that the cargo space is minimized. But here I also see something very interesting. I see beds. They seem to be the standard escape pods. There's only 2 of them. Maybe that's why you don't keep them in the front, that other person. You keep them here in the back. And you keep the configuration so that person can actually get into the seat. And then when it comes to skirmish, this might be just a sensory station. You go to the front and you get into your seat. Now, the downside is once it is turned into the fight position, and this one here, I don't know if you can easily get through that tunnel into the escape pods. So here it has also a gun rack in the back, and yeah, that's pretty much the art. What we have here is the rocket mount, so it has some rockets, and they are mounted here. So that's interesting to see how the concept art looks at that one. So this is the one I actually have now, so upgraded to that one. And that's supposedly how they are fighting. Very nice picture. Okay. So if we look at the mini hauler, the standard version, this is basically what you can see, and you can see how here the engines flip with it. Here is the big picture of it. The blue is now not as bright blue anymore. They changed that a little bit, as you've seen in the video. And you can see the configuration here. And I'm not sure if they kept these guns like that, because that's not what you can see on it right now. Gimbaled turret, so let's see what what comes out of it. And then missile deploy system up there. We will see, we will see. Right now, this is the concept art at least. So, going back to that. We have some more pictures. See, the seats are also different in that concept art. They don't look the same anymore. They have way more visibility by having these top-mounted monitors much like on the Constellation class that you can fly right now, the Andromeda. And here some concept art on how to get the containers in. Again, this looks like it is different now. The hatch does not open that far, and you don't have a lift here actually. You just have a flap that comes down, and you cannot walk around this way. There's a center walkway to get into your cockpit. So you can only mount stuff, put stuff left and right. You have a little bit of a size comparison, how big it is. It's not too big actually in comparison. Yep. So that's this one, and so how did I get it for $50? Now, I started out with a standalone ship, the Aegis Avenger Titan LTI, $50. I got it at the concept sale for that one when they had the Avenger, Warlock, and Titan as concept sales. So I took that one and I upgraded it with a package that I bought when the Reliant variants were on sale. You see, I have actually now the Skirmisher, and I'll show you how I got that. So when we look at upgrades, I always get the free upgrades. You see it here. I have a lot of the yellow jackets to black and black to yellow jackets, a 5 from each. And then I upgraded also my Aurora to Dragonfly Black for the simple reason that I will never use the Aurora. It's my starter ship, and the Dragonfly Black is probably rather something I will use. And you see all these free upgrades that I got, and that's just because these ships will get more expensive the moment they get in concept sale. Coming out of concept sale, I'm sorry. When they will be sold at anniversary sales, etc. So I got me one of those. This is the Titan module to Reliant upgrade, and that one was free. So now it's valued $15. And it really is, because I can show you that if I go to my buyback pledges just for funsies, I sold one of those $0 upgrades, and now if I want to get it back, I will have to pay $15. So that's the worth. And I didn't pay the $15. I paid $0. So that's the upgrade I used to get to the Reliant Core. The Reliant Core is the one that we looked at the hangar. So with that Reliant Core, I did a CCU, cross chassis upgrade, to, let me see, I have to go to the upgrades. So I went to in here, chose, and I have to uncheck here the ships. This only shows my ships. I went to the Reliant Core, and from there I selected the 315p. 315p upgrade is $0. Both of them are valued right now at $65. See that here, 65 here and 65 on the other side. So with this, I could go back to my hangar. And in my hangar, I have more of the CCUs. Back to the upgrades only. I have quite a couple of them. That is the this one here. That's also free, when you could get it only at the Reliant concept sale. So that's where I got it. It was for free, 315 to Skirmisher. Right now it would still be valued at $0, because the Skirmisher, which is now not called Skirmisher anymore, was offered for $0, because that's how it's valued. Now it will change the next time it will be offered, because it's actually $15 higher value than the Reliant Kore. And why do I think that? Well, if I look at my gear, I have the Reliant Tana, which is the skirmisher, now in here, but that one was valued $65, and the original Reliant, when I could get that upgrade, was $50. So it's supposed to be $15 more. So this should be an $80 value. But if I change it for store credits, I only get 50 out of it. Because that's what I paid. They don't give you what it's worth right now. They give you what you paid. So with that, I could go later on into ship upgrades just theoretically now, and could say I choose it, and that would be the value of an $80 ship. Let's look here. What is $80? I could get up to, we have here 75 between the Reliant Zen and Reliant Mako, somewhere in that angle. So if I pay $5 more, I get an Avenger Warlock out of it for $5 over the $50 that I paid for the Avenger Titan. If I pay $10 more, I actually get a Gladius. Now think about that. That's a really good fighter, right? The Gladius, the old standard. And I mean, you can't get that for 60, but you could if you get your CCUs on time. And that's why I tell you, if you have the chance and you have the time to log in while there's a concept sale going on, if you match up the prices, you can get certain CCUs for $0. And I knew at the beginning and around the year that I actually wanted to have the Starfire Gemini. So what I did, I bought, and you can see that in my hangar, I bought an upgrade from the Andromeda to the Starfarer Gemini, and standard pack. I think it's actually game packages, even though it's not technically a game package. No, it's actually, yes, yes it is. This one is actually a game package. I take that back. I'm sorry. The Constellation Andromeda to the Starfarer Gemini package was $15. Andromeda is $225, just the standalone chip, and it was $240 for the Starfarer Gemini as an upgrade, $15. So I got that because I wanted to have it. And the moment the Starfarer Gemini actually became hangar ready, what I did is I melted some other packages. I melted and that was, my heart was bleeding, but I really wanted to have the Gemini. I melted my Saber LTI package, and I melted, you can see this one here, and I melted my Drake Buccaneer, and then I had enough money. And I also melted my Titan, which wasn't very smart because I had to buy it back now. I know the new token is coming out on the 1st, but I probably need that later on for some other ones, like either Buccaneer or the Saber. I don't know yet. But anyways, so I got my Titan back, upgraded it, or that's what I did with the current package, and I basically got my Starfire Gemini for $240, and it came with all bells and whistles because I bought the big package that has all the bells and whistles here with a constellation, right? It came with 17 items, Rebel New York hangar, cart, workbench, the decorations for your aquarium. Even though you can't put them in right now, that's kind of broken. You cannot change the configuration of the aquarium itself. So I have the Gemini down here, Then I have the poster, the gray cat. That's actually what I really wanted, the gray cat. And some other stuff. So I thought that was pretty nifty. Comes with 6 months insurance only, but we all know that insurance will not be a big cost factor. So who cares? So that's basically, in a nutshell. Now I got a little bit in a rabbit trail there, but that's in a nutshell why you're supposed to buy the $0 CCUs. You never know when you need them. And yes, if you look at my ROMs, it gets a little bit, at my gear, it gets a little bit confusing. I have so many in there. But yeah, here's it's just the first page of 100. So can go on forever, and I have over 200 packages here, which are things like all kinds of Mustang upgrades. I don't even know if I need all of them. And at the very end, I have the starter package here of my Aurora. That is the small one for $35 that they offered in a limited edition. But you never know. You never know when you will need it. So my suggestion, really get the CCUs and don't worry about that it clogs up what you have there. You know, when the game goes live, all that will disappear anyways. So thanks for watching, and until next time on Thoringer's channel.